In 2022, LEGO decided to change their almost decade-old Phase 2 clone helmets to just include some helmet holes. Little did they know, this simple change ballooned into the biggest controversy the LEGO Star Wars fanbase has ever seen. Logically, it makes zero sense for LEGO to include the helmet with holes for clones that don't need helmets with holes. So why is this guy and so many others so passionate about this 1mm diameter hole? Are they justified in their outrage? And how did we get to this point? Let's talk about helmet holes. They have existed in all of our favorite characters such as Phase 1 clones and Mandalorians for years now. Their primary and only purpose in these helmets is to allow for rangefinders, visors, and even flashlights to be attached. These accessories are not only integral to the looks of some characters such as Captain Rex, but they also allow for a lot of customization in your clones so that they don't all look the same and some can be distinguished from others. So helmet holes are pretty important in establishing the looks of your clones. So when LEGO started producing not only Phase 1 clones but also Phase 2 clones in 2013, it was also expected that these holes would be present. But apparently not. For most normal clones, it was fine. Most of them don't have any accessories anyways. But for more important and named clones such as Captain Rex, and especially Crosshair, where the rangefinder was basically his defining characteristic, not having a hole to place a rangefinder was kind of a big deal, as it made these characters look incomplete. But this all changed when a Commander Cody, a very sought after figure, was finally introduced to a set. And along with it, a whole new helmet design with holes in them. And in theory, this helmet design is perfect because it remedies all the previous flaws with the Phase 2 helmet where they couldn't attach any accessories, so Commander Cody turned out looking great. But when you look at the other clones in the set which don't have any visors, you'll see that wait a minute, why is there a bump below where a hole would normally go, and then another hole above? That doesn't make sense. And because of that little detail, the whole community proceeded to collectively lose their minds. So firstly, does it look as bad as people put it out to be? Now, important thing to know is that most people display these troopers in an army formation, where they're all bunched up together and look really cool in a large group. And when you look at the group of clones that I have, for example, it's kind of hard to make out which one of them has the helmet holes and which ones don't. You'll have to zoom in and look very closely just to notice that, oh, there's something protruding out there. This means that most of the times when you display them straight on and look at them far away, you're not going to notice the helmet holes at all, or at least they're not going to be an active nuisance to your display. But when you look at the sides, then yes, admittedly it does look a bit weird. Side note, people will say that the holes changes the spacing between the fin and the brow and makes it so that the printing looks very warped. However, if you look at it closely, it seems that the spacing has not changed at all, and the holes are just added where there was nothing in the first place anyways, so this rumor is just completely fake. Nonetheless, people will bring up the point where if these normal troopers don't need these helmet holes, then they should have the old helmets without holes. However, what we need to realize is that LEGO is ultimately a business, and they don't really want to increase their costs if they don't need to. This means that their ultimate goal is to create one Phase 2 helmet that's able to be applied to any clone, regardless of their accessories, much like how the Phase 1 clone helmets and Mandalorian helmets are today. Therefore, these old helmets are being phased out to decrease production costs, making all of the clones wear these helmets with holes no matter if they need the holes or not. In the long run, this is also beneficial to the brand of LEGO because these holes allow for a lot of customization for children who want to make different officers, specialists, or commanders, therefore increasing the amount of creativity that can be put in a set, which is something that definitely cannot be done with the old helmets. Nonetheless, even though in the vast majority of cases these helmet holes seem to provide a lot more benefits than drawbacks, I still feel that there's some merit to the people who complain about these holes. Because I feel that if LEGO just thought through this process a bit more, then we could have achieved a helmet design that's both cost efficient, retains the functionality, and keeps the good sleek looks of the old helmets. So let me present my idea. Most people are complaining about the placement of the helmet holes more than the idea of helmet holes existing in the first place. So what we're gonna do is instead put the hole where the original bump was. Then, since the visors that were made are too low to actually work on these holes now, we're gonna change the mold of the visors instead. This also kills two birds with one stone because these visors were originally made for Phase 1 clones, and Phase 2 clones have a slightly different visor. So a redesign of the visor was in order anyways. All you have to do is put more plastic in the back area and push the pin further down. This redesign will also work for the macro binoculars because all you have to do is have the pin connection point be further down. With that done, it means that all the other accessories will be placed in the correct spots, such as the rangefinder, which is now further down and is more accurate. I think this could have been the perfect single helmet solution that would have solved all the issues that came out with the new helmet. It feels like instead of fixing the actual problem, which was the outdated visor piece, they went with the nuclear option and created a solution that doesn't really satisfy anyone fully. Nevertheless, this ideal solution is only hypothetical, and it seems like for the foreseeable future, LEGO will continue to use this piece. In conclusion, even though this piece is not perfect, it still creates a lot more possibilities and creativity than the previous clone helmet does, and only adds a drawback that most people are able to ignore. So maybe stop pretending that these clones without helmet holes are so much more superior, and stop wasting your money and brain cells on a minute detail that LEGO is probably not going to change. Thank you for watching.